450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Works. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. God, we're back, baby. We're so back.
Justin Barsha's back.
If you guys need some exterior modifications to your house and you're in the Southwest Michigan area, make sure to look up Gutter Works. Josh and Kayla, great people there. Moto people, big moto family, and they can help you out. All right.
Josh is a bad motherfucker on a bike, too.
Josh is a bad dude. All right.
Natural.
450s here. So Sexton rattles off a win early. So I guess they got the KTM working a little better, which is positive.
Look, I mean, he was going through the whoops before the season.
Yeah, that's a big... Oh, man, that was why I meant to say something to Eric, because I had said that to Eric the other day, and he's like, wait, he said that out loud? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I didn't even know that. I was like, oh, yeah, no, he said it. And they said it in the press conference, too. So,
So, speaking of press conference, you think he was PR trained to take Anton's question?
I don't know. What was that? I don't remember.
Hey, let's address the elephant in the room with KTM's financial trouble. Does that put any pressure on you?
Bro.
And he just goes, I'm here to win. You can ask so-and-so about that.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Because you want to know why? None of them will touch that.
Yeah.
None of those press people will touch that.
Well, Anton touched it because he's on his own now.
Anton touched it a little bit, but he's still not going to touch it that much because his livelihood depends on that, dude.
That was Johnny Hopper.
Huh?
I thought that was Johnny Hopper.
No,
it was Anton.
No, it was Anton.
Yeah. He's not connected to a Swap Moto Live anymore.
No, I didn't know he was going to do his own thing. I thought he was just done.
That came out like, what, 2 months ago,
honestly,
I think?
I don't know.
Why has he got to ruin connections? He can go on YouTube and be just fine.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know, but it is funny because everything's fine. Everything's
fine.
fine.
And Weege even talked about it in his post show a little bit, but he gave the diplomatic answer. So
Look, I hate to be that guy and to bring it up, but
No,
does the bonus hit?
that we'll find out in April.
And we're gonna find out pretty
I
quick.
assume it's quarterly.
It was a
It's
restructuring
quarterly, I'm
deal.
sure.
It wasn't like, hey, we're never making money again. It was a restructuring deal.
That's what they want to tell you.
They have how many 200 and some thousand units in the U.S. that aren't selling?
They're
on the floor?
265,000 bikes just sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
It's a lot of fucking motorcycles.
That's a lot of money
because
too.
they're not moving anything. Yeah.
Where are they going to move? What money are they going to move around to restructure? Chase Sexton's bonus, the MotoGP teams. Where's all those guys' money is going to be used to restructure?
I wouldn't be worried about KTM here if there wasn't that whole big debacle about the MotoGP where literally they went to that court and that court was like, look, you have to renegotiate. Like, number one, Moto 2 and Moto 3 in MotoGP are fucking gone. Period. End of discussion.
No.
See you later. They eliminated those teams, and then they went to the MotoGP, and they were like, you guys have to go renegotiate the contracts that you already have with these riders for less money.
Their business is to sell bikes, not go racing.
Nope.
So when they want to restructure and move money around, the fun stuff goes first. Every time.
Yep.
anyways, back to Chase.
That's why Chevy gets out of every racing series every 10 years.
Yeah, so back to Chase.
Brandon's all right, though. He looked like 2023 speed Chase and 2024 maturity.
He looked really, really good.
And we've all said that's going to be, if he can learn how to harness that speed again, and we saw it right off the rip, just even in pre-practice.
Yeah. No.
Like, it was there, and we're like, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, boy.
Yeah.
The most impressive part for me was, hey, we worked on starts. Like, okay, sure you did, buddy. We've heard that before.
Oh, it got proven.
He proved that. He got a whole shot in the heat. Did he whole shot the main? No.
No, he was like third.
He was in the mix in the main.
No, I was going to say Tomac whole shot that
he was in third until he ran over Eli.
I thought that Prado got the whole shot, and then
Prado did get the whole shot.
And then he spread Eli's cheeks with the back tire.
What I loved about Chase, though, when he stalled it, like, and this talks about where it was 2023 speed but maturity, 2023 Chase would have just fucking went psycho mode and forced shit and would have ended up on the ground again. And he's like, take a beat, calm down. I'm faster than all these dudes. I got him covered. Kenny reeled him back in a little bit. Chase, after about a lap, when he got settled again, got his heart rate down, he put in another heater, pulled that gap, and he was fine. And it's like, dude, Brayton fucking hit the nail on the head during practice.
So, not to discredit this win with Chase, but I want to see what you guys think about this. He's got 10 wins, right?
Damn, it's 10 wins already?
I think
Sure.
10.
Sure.
Is what they said or whatever.
No, I didn't know that, but that's the case.
You look at a lot of his wins have been he got out front, chaos happened behind him. Have there been any wins where he's actually had to work his way through and win it, or has it always been the same situations?
You'd probably have to go back, and there'd probably be some races in 2023 that he did it, but like, I guess, what is your version of like?
I want to see him be 4th or 5th, a guy out front, run him down, have a battle, and beat him.
But do we really think this year, though, depending on who rips a start and where that guy is, that that's even possible anymore?
That's definitely what we had this weekend, honestly.
Well, yeah, with Eli, we talk about that, but like that's also like my point though is that like okay, even with as good as Eli was riding, like do we think any of these dudes? And we talked about this in our pre-show, get a 5th place start, and if Chase is out front and clicking, can Eli run him down though? Because even with Eric, like we don't know. But here's the thing: even though Eli's a bulldog, Chase is a fucking bulldog too. So Chase ain't gonna wear down at the 19-minute mark.
No.
And you know that like 12 minutes in. He was settling in. He was saving shit that if Kenny just decided to catch a toe.
I'll be honest. The main thing I took from last night is that I think we're going to see a shitload of parity this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that was the wildest
whole
one in a
thing
long
we
time.
talked about where we like weren't quite sure like how many's Jet going to rattle off. Oh, he might get one. Oh, he might get one. Oh, he might get one. After watching last night, I went, we may have 6, 7, 8 winners. Like, because
speaking of parity, we can just go right to the 2nd place guy.
yeah, which is
Okay, I definitely gotta. If we're gonna go to Kenny,
Yeah,
I gotta eat crow on that one.
Ken Roxon, dude.
We all got to eat crow.
I gotta eat crow on that one because everybody
all do.
knows. They
And
watched the pre-show. I was like, Kenny ain't gonna do shit. This is gonna be 2018.
In all fairness, if you look at his qualifying, it was shit. Even did you watch the press conference?
No.
Because even Chase was like, yeah, you know, I looked at where he was in qualifying, was like, that's oof.
He was like, what, 12th for a while?
14th is where he ended up. He and Kenny's even like, yeah, I was 2 seconds off, and I was like, that's not good, you know. And then he came out and did that heat race, and Chase is like, as soon as I saw him in that heat race, I went, oh, we got a problem. We got a big problem. Like Chase is openly saying this in the presser because he knows what Kenny's capable of, and
it was ironic. Like on the X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, I sent one out and was just like, let's see who shows up when the lights come on. Because there's always that guy that sucks ass in qualifying. Kenny being one of them.
Kenny's one.
AP's another guy.
49 heat race wins is crazy.
I didn't hear
That's
that.
wild.
Yeah.
That is
That is-
second all time. 49 heat
Kenny,
race
yeah.
How much
That's
money is
crazy.
that? $8,000 times 49.
Yeah.
Math on that.
what'd you say, 8?
They're usually like $8,000, right? Heat race.
Maybe give 2,000 more because it's Kenny.
$392,000.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Just off some heat race wins.
Just on winning heat races.
Yeah, how many Stu got?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
But no,
49 times is a long. He's been doing this a long time. You guys.
Yeah, and if you think about, he missed pretty much all of 2017, and then 2018, we can just kind of throw that one out the. So you basically from 2019 to now.
2 years. Yeah, and I think Kenny's like at this. You know, you're seeing it with Eli too. These guys that are crossing 30 years old. Kenny was just like, "Take my first rodeo. Like, I got the bike set up for the main. I'm not worried about throwing down a heater in practice." And he said that he's like, "I knew my bike would be good."
Yeah, same
And that-
settings for
and
the
that
last
shit
7
worked.
years.
That
It's been
shit
great.
worked. So
Yeah, I mean Chase is right. That's a problem. If that Kenny's going to show up every weekend, and because we now know the last couple of years, at least the last 2, that he's gotten his medical issues out of the way, where he just doesn't stall out halfway into the year.
Yeah.
Like if that Kenny's going to show up every weekend, that's another fucking dude that's going to get a win. Like
Kenny
now-
looked ripped as fuck, by the way.
I mean,
yeah, he
Kenny,
always has.
Yeah,
He
Kenny's
always has.
he's a veiny looking motherfucker. Always
it's a
He
German.
looked like
It's a German
yolk
thing.
ripped.
Yeah.
veiny.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I'll eat crow on that, though, and happily, though, because we're all, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know about, I assume, but, like, we're all Kenny fans here.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I love
anybody
it.
see that? Anybody see that thing that Stu didn't see
What?
in the main?
Oh, he barely hopped over the tough block. Get off his ass.
Yeah,
I thought that was great.
he jumped over the tough blocks there in the corner, which is weird that they didn't put a pole there because usually they're pretty good about catching that stuff.
That tough
They
block
went
was
over
hanging
top
out
of it.
there
They didn't
because
go
somebody
inside.
caught it. They've had to push back in. Like a
Yeah,
lap
well,
after,
like
but-
I said, it was funny. Dude, I was laughing because like Ricky and Stu were like, "I didn't see that. Wasn't me. I didn't see
thought that was
nothing."
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at the far end of the rhythm
Yeah,
section, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay.
90,
I was
yeah.
wondering what the hell they were saying because they said that, and I'm
Yeah,
like, what
no,
are they talking about? What's so funny?
I saw it too. I saw it immediately, and I was
Stu's
like,
just like,
"Ooh."
yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Last thing on Kenny, I kind of had like an epiphany like week or 2 in. I'm like, or a week or 2 ago. I'm like, man, it's been kind of a quiet off season for Kenny, and usually he's pretty flashy on Instagram, dropping
Yeah.
some stuff. And I was like,
Does his bike have e-start now?
No.
No, not yet,
No, they were
which-
working on that. That's something he's been asking for. But I think, man, like
They were
Yeah.
they were joking about
Last
that in the
fall.
press conference last night
yeah,
too.
to keep the weight off that bike probably. But
Yeah.
how much you credit the way he's riding to being back on a factory transmission, and then going back to the
Is
KYB.
he though? Because what's his
That's what it
nuts?
said.
He said-
he said that, but then Hopper kept asking him about being on that stock transmission.
Hopper's a jackass.
Well, I also want
Hopper
to.
didn't watch the broadcast like we did, where they.
I also
talked
want to
about
know what the fuck is he talking about though? Because why was he not on a factory transmission when he was at Honda?
No, he said he hasn't ridden one since the Honda.
Yeah.
He said 2016, I thought.
Oh, I don't know.
No, well, maybe
He did say 2016 in the
Yeah,
press
so
conference.
like I'm thinking,
so-
I'm like,
Oh, I don't
is
know.
that like him just crediting Suzuki and like a jab at Honda? Because
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry, there's no way Honda's going to not give him a factory
lots
transmission.
of tranny talk.
Lots of tranny talk. Lots of tranny talk.
Controversial.
It's an awkward time to talk about
Jenner.
trannies.
Yep, these
Oh,
Bruce
love
Jenners
trannies.
are getting out of hand.
Anyway,
God.
From my experience in the pits, when you have a Supercross only bike and you have a factory transmission, really it just means, especially on a 450, that you get rid of first gear and you get rid of fifth gear, right? So you have a more close ratio second through fourth. I don't know how much of a difference it really makes, but maybe it makes shifting simplified. So second is now first, so you go second gear, also known as first gear, when you have that factory trans, and then you just do a little bit of shifting comparatively. How much does it really make a difference? I don't know, but here's the thing: when you're in that league, when you're at that level, a little teeny difference makes all the difference.
You know who's not taking out
Yeah,
fifth
I mean,
gear?
moving
Jason
the power
Anderson.
around. What's that?
You know who's not taking out fifth gear? Jason Anderson.
No, he'll use
Motherfucker,
it.
too.
He'll
Jason
use it.
use it.
He'll use
Jason
it.
Anderson, third last night.
Hey,
Hey,
let's give our Kawasaki guy over here some credit on that one because he called him. Did you call him for a win though?
I called.
You
him
just said he was gonna be really good at A1.
I said he'd be good at A1.
Yeah.
but
Gotta give you credit on that
He
one.
won a championship, didn't he? He won that Anaheim one.
I don't know if he did.
At 18?
Maybe.
I don't
think so.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Give him some credit on that one.
Man, I also didn't really realize it until going back and watching the interview and stuff today. I rewatched the broadcast today so I could actually hear what the fuck they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think he would have been a little better hadn't he had a blown out front wheel. He's talking
Yeah,
about how
I
he was
heard that.
riding and you could hear the spokes hitting the fork.
Yeah.
And then going back and looking, he made two pretty big errors in that rhythm section.
Okay.
Where he cased a little, and then the one where they passed him, he cased it pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, you're out there riding, and you know you got spokes blowing out.
That's
like,
so fucking scary.
Yeah.
yeah, imagine how you're feeling up here. Mm-hmm. I think maybe there'd been a little more in the tank if you're not thinking about that.
In
Maybe.
front of 60,000 fans.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah. So no, that was a good ride by him, and that ride made me go, okay, cool. He's got the possibility of winning one this year too.
yeah.
Because
How about-
he's there to party.
The only thing I'll say about Anderson, and this is not anything to discredit him because I'm pumped on it. Like I like when Ando's feeling it, like just the racing's better just because he just doesn't care. He was good last year at A1.
Yeah.
But granted, we went to a mud race the next round, and right now everything I've seen from San Diego and all that, like it's going to be the same weather we just had in Anaheim. So I don't think
Okay.
that's going to
A
happen.
little smoky.
Well, yeah,
Team Green.
we're not going to get into that.
That's the other podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to hear where you guys are.
But
on that.
We'll talk about
I
that
just
after
want
the
to
show.
see. I want to see what he does in the second round, and if he can continue
Yeah.
that, then it's be like, okay,
this is the point I keep trying to get across about the fucking Jet points deficit. With the parity I see here, literally Jet can go in, win next week. We can flip flop a bunch of these, and all of a sudden he's down like 8 points after round 2, and then
we'll get
it's
into that when we
like
talk about Jet.
Cream rides at the top.
I'm
Let-
just saying, it's like
Let's wait
it's
for when
like
we go to Jet.
everybody's panicking after the first
Let's
round,
wait
and
when
I'm
we go
just
to
like,
Jet.
yeah, we had a
Let's-
bad one.
let's wait when we go to Jet. We'll talk about that when we go to
Anyway,
Jet.
I know you
okay.
just can't
Can't let it go.
Paul,
Let it
Paul
go.
Webb.
Paul Webb.
Paul Webb,
Paul
aka
Webb.
Cooper Webb here, 4th place. I think that was quietly good night for him.
He was just
100%.
He was just kind of there. I mean, that's how it
Yeah.
was last year. Just
He's-
kind of
How
there,
many
and
wins? How many wins for number 2?
I think he gets 2 or 3.
2 or 3, and he's
I
gonna be
bet
in
he
the,
gets a couple this
and
year.
he'll be in the title chase all the way down to the
Yeah.
last round again.
I mean, look at him at the end of that race. One more lap. You know how he is. He's always going to get somebody on the last lap.
Yep.
Ando was shaking in his boots.
And I mean, dude, the whole entire time when he closed up on Ando, I'm just thinking, dude, he's gonna pull like a 2020 like he did to
Yeah,
Kenny, and
he
he's just
does
gonna
every
fucking
time.
right on the inside, just saw off that front end, and
Get
he's
freezed.
yeah, and then
I love that
Ando.
he's a saber-toothed fucking tiger. It's my favorite thing about him because there's not that many racers right now that are mean. The ones that are Vince Friese, who's a dickhead about it and does stupid things. But the ones that are like really on their edge of being the guy that's gonna go for a win, that are also aggressive. I love that shit. Chase is like that with lappers, and I love that, right? But with Cooper Webb, he's the shark under the water, and when it comes to the last 2 laps, you better look the fuck out 'cause
Yeah.
he's coming.
Another thing I'll say about Coop too, you talk about Kenny being in shape. Coop looks like this is the best shape he's come
Yeah.
in at A1, and obviously he said that in the offseason. He's like, dude, I'm way ahead of schedule right
I
now.
think he's a little behind the 8 ball, to be honest with you. That based off his crash. Like, there was a couple weeks off with that arm.
I just mean like
Yeah.
in the sense of what he's come in at the first round the last couple
Yeah.
years, just physically.
Well, I mean, last year, man,
Oh, yeah.
he was on fire.
I
Last
tell you what,
year.
though, man, he looks good in that flag gear.
Hey, question
Yeah.
for you guys: the bikes
Still
for
good.
Star has this platform been a couple years in the run right now?
This is
2
year
or
2.
3, I
This
think.
year 2.
Okay,
So what, we'll get a
they
new one
have
next
good
year?
base to start
Next
with.
year, the
No,
year
it's got to
after.
be 3.
You think it's
When
3?
Tomac blew the Achilles out, that was
2023. 2022 was the old version.
Oh, okay. So,
So
maybe
3,
Because
4,
remember,
5.
Dylan got on the
Okay,
2023 and he was bitching
so
up a
probably
storm.
26 will be new.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
no,
they're like, we're not changing
Oh,
anything.
Dylan.
no,
yeah,
that thing
I know.
was.
We'll talk about Dylan. That was a bummer.
Speaking of aggressive that you brought up, I forgot to bring up. How about that aggressive pass out of Kenny? We don't see that very often.
Yes,
No,
sir.
yeah, that was good.
You see that very often?
Not
Last
on-
time you seen him.
Kenny doesn't really get brought into those games anymore.
Well,
But
that's
he's not
what
really good at it, though.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the first time I think I've ever seen him take a guy outside and force those guys both to do a different rhythm.
I also think
I love that shit.
he has PTSD every time he tries to get into with somebody of his arm getting wrapped in his rear wheel.
Yeah, that's
Think
true,
so?
too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
That goes.
You've been hurt pretty bad a couple times, right?
No,
He's been knocked. He's been knocked
collarbone.
What?
Yeah.
Collarbone.
You've been knocked out a couple
Knock
times
on
already.
wood. I got
Oh,
knocked out
shit.
once.
Okay.
You're the only fast guy I know that hasn't been through a bazillion.
Collarbone and a foot.
Look, you need to stop calling
And a
Cole
thumb.
fast these days because you need to let it go to his head. You know, some of that
Yeah.
fucking shit.
He might be past the prime now, but he's still,
I know.
I don't know, man. I just wilded it up in the
fucking
driveway.
with him. He's like, I'm getting fucking old. Shit, I can't even walk straight
I'm
no
getting
more.
ready to trade my 450 away for a 2-stroke.
But there you go. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Kenny gets PTSD with that kind of shit. He's like,
I
dude,
would,
I got
yeah.
my fucking
Fuck yeah, I would.
I'm out.
Hey, before we move on, I got a question for you guys. Yesterday, the race, we all watched it on Peacock. Where were you? What was the situation? Did you have a party? Were you guys watching?
No,
it
I don't. I
I
don't
was
like
at a party.
I don't like to watch the races with other people.
in the dark in the basement?
I was
I don't-
partying.
No, I just don't like to watch the races with people. And him and me have talked about this
Yeah.
before.
Like, me and him can watch it together because
No, it
neither one
depends
of
on
us
the
talk.
people you're with.
Yeah.
If it was like me, you, him, and Wyman or something sitting
Yeah,
there, or
Rev
us
Racing.
4 at the table here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd be fine.
But if it's like a bunch of people, and like I got no problem with this. I know everybody does Supercross parties differently,
that shit.
but like I can't do that because and it's I'm not talking bad about any people, but you always know there's gonna be that one group of people that don't know anything, and that's fine. That's not their fault. But like they go there and they're not really there to watch the race.
Yeah,
And all
100%.
my brain hears is them talking about has nothing to do, and this is gonna make me sound like a total dickhead, and I'm not trying to be, but I don't watch the races to hear other people talk about everyday life shit. I'm watching the race for a reason.
I usually have to watch it again after.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
like
why
I
I
watched
don't-
it again this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't hear the
no,
broadcast.
You
so.
and me. Well, I talked about this with you the other day. Of like, yeah, I can't do that because like I have to be locked in. So like as soon as it's done, it's like, okay, cool, turn the camera on, let's fucking go.
Oh,
And that's
today
fine, like-
Emily was pissed at me because I was out in the other living room, and she kept asking me questions about something, and
The other living room.
yeah, I got 2 living rooms.
It
So.
must be nice to
He's
be
also
fucking,
got-
must be nice to be fucking
Yeah, he's
rich.
also got a pretty cool vacuum. He's
Jesus
also got a pretty cool
Christ.
vacuum. Anyways, go ahead with the
Oh
story.
my god,
Go ahead with your story, man.
it's an 1,800 square foot house. Jesus.
Go ahead with your story.
Must be nice.
I'm
to
not
be
hating
rich.
on you for having another living room.
Emily comes out there and
Is
was
that the
just,
butler's living room? Is
Oh
that what
my
it is?
god.
it's the boys' living room because
the boys.
I got the wood stove in there and stuff. So I'm in there just.
So
chilling.
Emily comes
This is
out
the
and
one
she's
he
talking
doesn't
to you.
vacuum with the
And,
fucking.
yeah. Anyway, she comes out and she's like talking to me and she's like, "You didn't hear a word I said," and I said. You interrupted me 3 times. I'm locked in right now. Like, come back in like about an hour.
Like I said, no problem with people do it. Everybody does it.
Yeah,
I get
that's
it. But when I
fine.
watch the race, I can't be in a room with people that aren't there to watch the
Are
race.
you an alone at the house kind of guy?
Usually, yeah. Yeah.
You, or you
Do you
Yeah.
wear pants?
Yes, I'm wearing pants. Thank you.
Just wondering.
Thank you,
I
bud.
think I think she was in the.
What do you
Yeah.
wear? What's your lounge wear?
Why are you asking what the
I'm
fuck
just
I'm
wondering.
wearing? I'm
I'm just-
wearing
I'm
fucking shirts and
You
a
wearing some-
short
you wearing some
pants.
Ethicas?
Trying to picture what he looks like
You
when
wearing
he's
some,
sitting
you
there.
wearing some Ethicas or
I don't wear Ethicas. I wear Fruit of the Loom.
fucking
Thanks.
fucking
Are they all just white? All white?
I don't wear
fucking
white, bro.
fucking
Colored
free
ones, man.
fucking free balling over here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking is painful.
I mean, years like that.
Oh, dude, I can't do that in the
Alright,
summertime.
alright.
Yeah, he's
So
leathered
you were at
up.
home with the chick. You were at home alone. You were at
Yeah.
a party.
I was at a party, dude, raging.
What were you
Was it a
doing?
banger? How many people were there?
Oh, if you want to start counting infants, and I'm like at that stage in my life where everybody's
That's
got
cool.
2, 3, under 2-year-old
You're next.
kids, so
You're next.
lots of kids screaming. Justin would have been stoked.
Usually
would've
for
been
Anaheim
stoked.
one, we get like a movie theater and we do one whole whatever you call it, movie theater.
Yeah.
Jeez, they're big balling out here.
Well, if you got fucking,
they go down to West Columbia
Well, he's
7
got a
rent
gold
that
watch on
motherfucker
right now.
out,
if
dude.
you got 100 people. I mean,
Celebration?
You, dude,
Cinema?
I would be fucking annoyed if I was around that many people trying to
Oh,
watch
me
the
too.
race.
it's
Oh.
all
too.
racers and babes.
That's fine. That's fine. But
I
if
would-
there's people that show up that aren't there for the race, I would be that asshole. Be like, shut the
It
fuck
doesn't
up.
matter.
Not me.
So
I mean,
there's
I watched it last-
there's racers that still talk too much while they're fucking.
Yeah, I
races
can't-
I
I
watched
going
it
on.
alone last night, but that's not normal for me. I like having a good time and then go and watch it back and do my
Yeah, it's
homework
fine.
afterwards.
I got no problem with it. I just can't do it.
Anyways,
Anyways.
all right, back to this. So Eli Tomac, fucking just Captain America ride from last back to fifth.
How many wins?
Oh, dude.
He's got to get 2 or 3 this year
I think
minimal.
dude, I'm going to be honest with you.
Look,
after watching that, like, look, we don't know what Jet's going to do, but if anybody not named Jet is going to, like, rail off a bunch of wins in a row, as much as I would like to see it be Chase, Eli's right now my pick to be that guy.
Let me give you my first Gypsy Tales reference here. That boy came to fuck last night.
I also think it was awesome
Whoa.
that Jace drops the podcast right around like with A1.
Yeah, of course. That
Oh,
was,
he's a media mogul.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fucking awesome. And then the piece that JT did at the house.
Well, hang on. I will pull out media mogul maybe, but all Jace did was take the Joe Rogan
Oh, I know.
playbook and add it to Moto.
yeah, well,
He
that's
just
what he's
niched
trying
down
to
the
do.
Joe Rogan playbook.
But Eli's dude, he's locked in, and the fact that he both practices was it Jet's like going out there doing a thing, and everybody knows that like how Jet goes about qualifying now. Waits for the last couple of minutes. Eli's like fucking hold my drink.
Eli Tomac is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
badass,
is
dude.
it safe to say that for opening ceremonies next week, Eli Tomac is coming out to Return of the Mac?
Hey, I like that. That's a good one.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's good.
Is he back?
I think he's.
Oh, I think he is.
The Mac's back?
And I'll be
think he
honest,
is.
everybody kept referencing
That
him
was
like
impressive
2022.
yesterday.
Him 2022.
23.
No,
No.
I mean people were talking about like when he
Oh,
won his
yeah,
title in
yeah.
2022. I honestly like right now that version of Eli, and you know because it was just you and me when we did the show. That was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Look,
Wow.
ragged
Folks at
out,
home,
just
hey,
fucking yarding everyone.
Folks at home, tell us how many wins for Tomac this time.
Like that was 2017 Eli speed, where like I don't care what you're doing, I'm gonna be at the top of the board, and y'all are fucked because he wants to win, and he
Yeah.
can keep talking about like oh this and that. No man,
hey, look, jury's out a little bit for me, though.
really.
And I'll tell you why.
Because it's not.
I think he came in with a little extra confidence because he spent that whole month in Florida riding that layout.
with the hyenas.
With the hyenas.
With the
but,
hyenas.
But it was that layout.
Yeah,
And he's like, there's no way I shouldn't go fast on this.
Yeah.
Again, kudos to him. That's a confidence thing. If he comes in with that confidence into every round, yes. But I want to see second and third round of the same Tomac, and I'm in. I just think he had that little extra confidence coming in because of
Do you
that.
guys want a fun TLR tinfoil hat?
Maybe I'm an idiot.
Here we go.
You want a fun TLR tinfoil hat about Tomac?
Sure, go ahead.
You think he's got some deal with his wife that if he wins this year he gets to keep racing?
I mean, he brought up the whole thing.
I don't know. I didn't think about that with his wife, but I kind of got that feeling yesterday a little.
No, that's the guy that finished behind him.
I hope that he does win, and I hope that he does defend because I think that it would make a hell of a history.
Well,
Yeah, I think if he wins this deal, he defends. He wants to run that number one plate. That's pretty fucking
I'm just
cool.
not sure. Okay, so anybody
it
else?
puts him into all-time great status.
dude, he's
already
already on
is.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
in
He
my
already
opinion.
is.
Did
He's
he-
already on the Rushmore.
Did anybody else pick up on it when they did that piece on him though? And he's like, "Yeah, so this is our little like funny farm or whatever."
Oh yeah.
Like
I saw that.
kind of like a dude like making fun of like, "Yep, so she wants to do this."
I mean, like a Barsha thing.
He's fine. He's
Well-
a farmer. He's just now they're.
Man,
I
I love
understand,
that.
but do you think?
Loved having his mom on there. I love Kathy.
But a lot of
Not in
guys
a weird way.
don't necessarily want to do what their parents did, right? Like, for example, my dad owns a concrete company. I don't really want to work in a concrete company. Would I love to own a concrete company that can make money? Yes, but I don't want to work it.
I can't speak on this. My dad worked on shit. I went into working on shit.
So, like with him, it's like, yeah, they've been farmers. Do you think he wants to be a farmer? Maybe.
No.
But I don't know.
I
And
think
like
he
I know
enjoys
he
it.
do-
They
I
got
know
4
he
children,
does.
probably.
I know he does it, but he does it right now because he doesn't have to do it. If he retires, there's nothing to do. And he even mentioned on like the Pulp, I think he was on Pulp not too long ago, of like, yeah, I'll probably try to find something to do afterwards to still be involved in the sport. Like, not like, hey, I'm going to be Stu and retire and go ghost and just see you later. I'm not fucking
Yeah,
around
I think he's
anymore.
around in some capacity.
He doesn't, I don't know that he wants to leave, which is why, like I said, and this is all pure speculation, just guys bench racing on the
Yeah,
tailgate here.
maybe he said something in Gypsy. We haven't listened to
Yeah,
that.
that's true,
that,
too.
That show goes a little more in depth. So.
Now I know they ask him point blank at the end of the presser too of like, hey, is this for sure your
He
last
hemmed and
year?
hawed.
And he was kind of like, well,
the problem I think with Eli too, though, is like he's been like all these kids like Ando, fucking Malcolm, Barsha, Kenny, all of them at that level. But it's also different with Eli in the sense because it's like he's been in this competitive nature literally his entire life, not because of just racing moto at a high level, it's like he learned how to ride a dirt bike, But you got to think about growing up around what his dad was doing. So it's like you talk about these other people, like Barsha, Malcolm. I mean, Malcolm obviously had James, but that's a whole different thing because Malcolm never really wanted to do this as a career. But like you talk about these other people, they weren't around that. Like, I don't know what Kenny's dad did, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do any sports at a high level. Fucking Barsha. I mean, dude, I don't know about you, but like I've met Barsha's dad. Like
I never have.
He wasn't. So like I talk about these other people, but like Eli's been in this competitive mode his entire life, and I don't think he can just get that out of his system. I understand he's old in the sense of dirt bike age, but he's gonna be 34 next year.
He's proud.
Flo can relate to this. I've been in moto racing, whatever else, my whole fucking life since age 4, and once I retired in 2012-ish. You go the rest of your life trying to scratch the itch. There's no way around it.
Kind of, yeah.
For me,
you do it with go-karts, man.
I'm in my 3rd season playing minor pro hockey, and it's the closest thing I've ever had to scratching that itch. There's nothing like it. And for a guy like Eli Tomac, when you have that level, it's very hard to replace that. A lot of times in other pro sports, those guys come unraveled because it's like, what do I do with my life now? They don't have
what happens in this sport,
which
too,
I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to be very. I don't think he'll go RV's route where he just goes away and doesn't do anything with the sport. Because I think he watched RV do that, and I think he's got that. Because like RV's the same way. Like RV's got a competitive nature, and that's why he stepped away. And he was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm so bored out here. Like I gotta find something to do."
He hated the end of his career.
Yeah,
he's way cooler now than he was.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Well, it was always in there. Nobody saw it.
Yeah,
I just wonder what if he re-ups and he re-signs, how much Brad and Bobby are going to pay him, because it's going to be a fat check.
Yeah,
that's the other thing where the chips fall on the money side of things.
Well, it's like who was I listening
to?
to?
Budget, or was just like, let's fucking sign everybody.
Well, they did finally announce who took over for Coker, and that was Rich Simmons, and then Jordan Troxel got named the crew chief. So,
really? Okay.
That's interesting. I like Troxel. Yeah, I like Troxel, and then Rich Simmons. I mean, he's been around forever.
Must be a 1-year deal till Ducati.
Dude, I don't know. That whole team's just weird.
Well, I guess Jordy has been with Factory Honda, but
yeah, he's been around a long time.
With Troy Lee, I'm particularly excited about the Ducati thing.
We'll talk about that at the halftime show. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. So Barsha on that Rockstar Gas 6th. I mean,
contract year,
baby. He ain't done.
One thing, the last thing I want to say about Eli before we move to Barsha, I'm sorry, but like the one thing I want, Eli got knocked around quite a bit last night, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, he got ran over.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Hunter he put a little extra sauce on a couple of those passes.
Okay, I have that in my notes too that I didn't think about. Yeah, the Hunter Eli battle. Like
dude,
Hunter.
If I'm Eli, bro, I know, especially at this age, you don't want to ruffle any feathers, and that's never really been his thing. We all saw it when he tried to do that with back in the day, and then the Barsha thing has never worked out. But dude, if I'm Eli, bro, I'm just, hey man, you know what? Free practice next week. If I'm behind him, like I just run you high a little bit in the corner. Like, don't fuck with me, dude. I got no problems with you. Don't fuck with me.
I don't feel like he had any fear with Hunter because he didn't feel like anything was going to get too sketchy. But did you notice when he got to Barsha there?
Well, he's always had this issue with Barsha. He's never like, dude.
Everybody.
We watched all of fucking
5 years later. We're still doing the same thing.
We watched all of 2019. Every time he get behind Barsha, he would spaz out and he'd be like, "I don't want to go any faster."
Have you ever passed anybody clean? This year?
This year?
Best line.
Barsha's fucking octane. It just went up like,
All right, what do you guys think of Barsha's night?
Look, man, I watched it back, and he was 10th or so on the opening couple laps and ended up working his way up. Obviously, maybe a gift from Prado, some stuff like that, but he's kind of worked. He picked a couple guys off to get to where he was.
Yeah.
And I think I told you guys this in the pre-show, but I like the Baker program thing. He's doing a little less. Contract year.
That's an asterisk to me because he's going to Ducati next year for sure.
I think he'd probably be in the running for Ducati. I would agree with that.
I mean, he's a perfect spokesperson.
One, because
on
he's going back to the Troy Lee team, and two, because the Ducatis I haven't seen yet, but I understand that typically they have essentially a valve springless.
We talked about this a while ago.
Rev the fuck out of it. That's Justin Barsha all the way.
He'd be pretty good on that bike if the valve spring kind of thing. That. Those pieces fit together, and I think this year he wants to perform to prove that he's the right pick. Contract year, baby. You know how Barsha does.
For folks at home, normally a Supercross style bike, you kind of top out around like 14,000 RPMs because the valves, the spring can't expand back out fast enough for the RPMs. So when you don't have a spring, you can raise the limit. That's how like F1 engines and all that stuff work. So it could be a very interesting growth to our engines in the sport.
Does
Or
he
you
do
know,
any
maybe they
better
should just
than
put him on a
this year?
350. What?
Does he do any better than this year, or is 6 kind of like?
I think he gets a podium.
Well,
dude.
yeah, I was about to say if he continues on this trend, being that good already right off the rip. I mean, dude, there's no reason why we get to East Coast. And he
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't.
these old boys.
What?
AP or Barsha, who finishes higher at the end of the year?
Oh, I've got to go AP still.
I don't know. Yeah, toss
I-
it up.
I like both.
Throw them in a hat and pick a number out.
I like both of them, but I got to say AP still.
Okay.
Just because I don't think I think Barsha's still gonna have Barsha moments.
Yeah, all depends on
Yeah,
how
where he
much rain we
pisses
get.
somebody off.
Yeah, or he just gets a shit start and he's like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, he. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think he sneaks a podium in or something. I think this is going to be a good year.
Look, man, he's always good at Daytona.
And all these old boys, we're calling them old boys, but the Barsha era with Roxon, Eli,
Malcolm, yeah.
all those guys, like, I mean, they get a 5th or something at A1. I don't think they're concerned.
They don't
like,
spaz out,
I don't think they're putting all their eggs into the A1 basket. So
Nope.
Can I talk
to come
about
out of there in a
Never
5th's
do.
good.
Can I talk
Sixth
about
or
that whole
whatever.
gas cast mechanic get up though? Looks just perfect. The all red
Oh, that looks good.
just reminds
Yeah.
me of Ferrari.
Yeah, that's true. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Very
I was
Ferrari.
like, damn, you guys got Ferrari mechanics? That's cool.
J. Coop 7th.
Quiet, but
Jay,
good.
just
Kinda
He
right
worked
where
his
it's
way
at.
through. I mean, he wasn't.
show.
Yeah, he wasn't. What?
Fade show.
Yeah, but I mean,
You
still.
get passed by bad motherfuckers is the problem.
Yeah, he just.
Cheese
I mean,
pizza.
dude. Yeah, just consistent all the way, man.
Cheese pizza.
He's the new Brock Tickle.
Cheese pizza. But it, dude, how about getting on the PJ to come out? Fucking Louis bag. All this.
Google the tail number.
But again,
That'll tell you everything you need to know.
what is it going to tell me?
It's owned by a real estate investment firm.
Which is probably owned by his wife's
Dad or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cole came to play today.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Are you going to get on PJ?
Yeah.
I don't
Does
know
your
what Jet
chi-
Lawrence is, but the difference is
He
this was
didn't
free.
pay for it. I am so here for this all year.
Just hopefully Jay Coop's not getting slapped
what
around anymore.
The thing I do like about that though is
Can we
like,
talk about jujitsu?
is like Justin Cooper wearing the watch, having the Louis bag, flying the
Yeah,
PJ.
be swaggy. He's low key swaggy.
Yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that like helps grow the sport nowadays because we
exactly
need this which is why we need the
Yeah, I
Lawrences
mean, you
on
go
a
look at the
PJ every
comments.
weekend. We need the Degans flying private every
Jeremy
weekend.
McGrath showing up in his Acura NSX.
Yep.
Look, man, I agree with
I
that.
heard Deke showed up in a Lambo this
I don't.
weekend.
I don't get into all that stuff
did.
like you guys do, obviously. But like, if lean into it, everybody knows
100%.
that his wife's family is fucking some
Tyson
of the
Chicken.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, Jay Coop's wife,
I don't know.
his
Yeah,
family,
they got
his
ties with
family's
Tyson Chicken or
they're
something.
they're
Yeah,
fucking
his
billionaires.
wife's
I don't like
families.
Tyson Chicken, but I like that.
They're
I
yeah.
wanna marry
I
some
mean,
bitches.
they're
That's great.
Yeah, whatever. PJ's cool.
yeah. They're billionaires.
That was great for him.
But lean into it, bro. We all saw during outdoors,
That's
and
what
even
I'm
back to
saying.
2023. We all saw you on the private jet. Like, lean into it, bro. Like,
I'm
people
okay
are
with it.
Yeah, the
people
people in
already
the
don't.
comments.
People already don't really have a big opinion on Jay Coop as it is.
Yeah.
Like the cheese pizza thing, but in all seriousness, people just don't really like have opinions on him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
He's just there. Look, bro, lean into it. Like, if people are gonna hate you, people are gonna hate you. If they're gonna like you, they're gonna like you. At this stage of your career, you're doing whatever you're doing. You're a solid top 10 dude. You got a factory ride. You're married into a family that's loaded. Like, who out of all of us wouldn't do that?
I
Like,
mean,
who gives
he's
a
pretty
shit?
loaded himself without her. So
Yeah, he's got money. So now you add on the fact that now you're a billionaire all of a sudden. So like,
The dollar signs thing means fucking nothing to me.
The people that are outside looking in, they go look on Instagram or whatever. If you go look at the comments, all the kids that are 12, 15, whatever, like, damn, didn't know Jay Coop had that drip and all that stuff. Like, they're pumped on it. So
My thing is I was laughing because they asked Jet about the private jet or whatever, and he was like, "Well, I don't know. That's just a lot of
too much
money.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
blah blah blah."
he's a
and I'm
pussy
like,
about it.
and I'm like, you guys don't pay attention to what Ricky and them were doing, right? So they did it, and then when you listen to them explain why they did it, it's like, okay, cool. Well, now I can fly in instead of having to fly in Thursday. I can fly in late Friday, sleep there Friday, race Saturday, and be home by Saturday night to sleep in my own bed to fully recover Sunday instead of being at the airport or in the air all day. To then by
Yeah,
Monday I'm
yeah.
back to riding moto.
you're not breathing that Levi Kitchen air.
100%.
And let's be honest, Jay Coop,
100%.
let's be real, probably not paying for it anyway. So why does it matter?
Yeah, well, that's what
So
I'm saying.
why does it matter?
That's
He's not paying with his own
I
money.
mean,
Find a personal sponsor that'll cover it.
The thing I'm saying is, like, you look at, like, the Lawrences and stuff, too. It's like, I don't understand why you guys aren't doing that. You guys are making that kind of money to be able to do that.
yeah, or find a personal sponsor. Like
I mean, we
said,
all
that
saw
would
the
cover
thing
it.
with Kenny
For
and
a jet
Eli
card.
back during the fucking scamdemic and all that bullshit. Like when they did the whole private jet thing together, which we all kind of were like, well, that's interesting. But like, dude,
It's just
Or
interesting.
find another guy and split the cost.
So many of these
Like,
dudes
yeah.
could do it. Like all I'm saying with Jay Coop is look, if people don't have an opinion on you as a person, lean into it, bro. Lean into it so they
like
all
I
start
said,
talking about
I
you.
love it. 'Cause
Hey, here's a tinfoil one. Maybe a little more TV money to the teams. They could send
Oh, boy, here we
they
go.
could send their riders private.
Yeah, no
Well,
shit.
here's that. So my hockey league is like lower end. We don't have flights, but most of the higher up hockey leagues have buses and private jets, and that is the fucking experience right there. Playing cards with the boys on the plane and that kind of stuff. If we had like we go back to this every year about like the Players Association, the Racers Association kind of thing. If we had to where it was like organized like that, it changes the whole experience for these guys, and it takes our sport from like great, but to like the actual professionals, right? And I really welcome that. When that time comes, because boy, would that be something to hear stories about fucking Jet and Eli Tomac gambling on the plane. Or
Oh,
Jet
that'll
and-
never happen. That'll never happen.
I don't know. They're already riding the same fucking plane.
No.
my thing is that if
I don't know if there's enough interesting
the
people in
ironic
moto
thing
or
is
wanna hear
that
those
like
stories.
a huge majority of them are all in Florida, and if they all just banded together, they could like not only these guys, their entourage, and the fucking any of the team guys that are there, you could get yourself a private 737, 747, whatever flight
There's
going
not
back and forth
Yeah,
for
there-
not that much.
There's enough money
Per
in the
person.
sport for that, but
Yeah.
it's just not going around, and that's a whole other tangent we can go on.
And there's enough
but-
dudes in
None of these
in
dudes
the
put that
450
together
class.
yet.
There's enough.
I'm honestly surprised Myrtle hasn't put that all together yet.
They
Yeah.
already take Jet. Like,
I
Ricky is on the same jet with Jet, or same plane with Jet all the time. This is not unusual. This is not new. It's just
Yeah.
organizing and having to be like, hey, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I just like it. Good for Jay Coop, man. Like I
Yeah.
don't pay attention to that stuff, but like, hey,
whatever.
man, nobody's got an
Jet
opinion.
talk.
Yeah, cool. Good
Well,
for you,
and
bro.
like I said, this is the stuff that will grow us nowadays.
What
This
I
is
liked
what we
a lot
need.
was seeing Hunter and Justin Cooper battling in the main, because those guys
Brought
kinda
back
came
some
into the
2021
450 at the same
vibes.
time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some 2021 vibes.
All right. So 8th place, Justin Hill.
Tampa Hill's back,
Surprise.
baby. Don't even get me started. You want to make a bet?
No,
I
because I
can't-
listened to that Hill podcast with Gypsy
Hey,
too.
yeah,
Became a Hill fan
yeah. He was
just
dope.
that quickly.
He's-
5 hours later,
You became
I was
a
Hill.
fan?
I was a Hill fan.
He's pretty good on that.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah,
I liked it.
Hill is
Yeah.
always going to be one of the most naturally talented dudes to line up
He's gonna
anywhere.
be a lot of what
he,
if, but he's
yeah.
proven to himself that there is going to be no what if.
yeah.
So no, hell of a ride for Hill. How about the pass back on Tomac?
Yeah.
Dicing it up.
Dude, when
with
they were
Yeah.
going 3 wide, I was like, wow. I was like, Hill came to fuck.
All right, here we are, and we're
Hey.
here to party.
Justin Hill, dude.
Justin Hill, bro.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, since you're the Hill guy, hold on. Like,
Ooh,
how many is like, what's his ceiling right now?
5th place.
Because we do know there are going to be.
You can get into the top 5. I think he's just going to get rolling. You know, Tampa's coming up in a
But
couple weeks.
he has notoriously struggled though on the East Coast with ruts in the past, which I feel like a lot of those West Coast dudes
Sir.
do anyway.
Sir,
Sure.
let me put Tampa on the TV. There are a lot of ruts at that
Tampa
track.
2018
Look,
here.
bro, look,
Yeah.
I got no problem with Jay Hill. He knows this because I was all like when he won his title in 2017, and then the year later with JGR. I just want to know,
We knew
like,
the
what?
bike sucked,
Yeah,
but-
what do you think his ceiling is? Because there are going to be some rounds that he struggles with certain dirt.
I think it'd be 5-3, 3-5.
I don't see him with a podium, but I see top 5. I think he can get a 5th. I think that's a ceiling.
One of them, a couple of them.
I'll go a couple.
Long fucking
I'll go a
series.
couple. But he's got to get a start though. He's got to get a start.
Podium. Last
not-
round of the year when nobody's there.
I mean, he's already done it
you
before.
go.
he's already
He did
done
what,
it.
Was it
He's
2
already
years
done
ago?
it.
Was
He
it
might
20?
win.
Yeah.
All right, calm down.
Jesus. All right.
Cole's not even coming to the show the next day.
AP 9th place.
Quiet.
I mean,
Quiet.
Yeah,
not
very,
the
I think,
best.
underwhelming for him.
Yeah,
I think he was
for
expecting
opener.
himself to be.
you want to
a
talk
lot
about
better.
no off season? I mean, I know that's not AP's thing, but you want to talk about no off season whatsoever? Like hype videos? That's AP.
It was very quiet
I didn't
all
say
off
shit
season
about
for
AP.
everybody.
I didn't even know AP was alive until like December 23rd.
I did because I was watching the Baker's Factory training camp
Yeah,
stuff.
those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Hate to beat this dead horse, but KTM financial issues.
Oh God.
So this connection back in the day, obviously we were kind of concerned about where these guys' heads coming into the thing, and I think AP with his dad in his corner. Ironically enough, back when his dad won his off-road title, KTM was going through the same issues.
No shit.
And when Scott Plessinger was riding for KTM, and then he won a title that year despite the financial issues.
Interesting.
So for
Did
me,
he ever get paid for it?
I don't know. But for
should
me,
ask him.
you got your dad who's been in a very similar situation in your corner that's going to get you through a
Yeah.
season. So I think that's
Scott's a
kind
hard ass. So
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting when I saw that, and that's where my head went. So
Yeah, good info. Good info.
Yeah. All right. Stu, 10th place. Ooh, that was a bad wreck.
and James just
That was
goes.
okay.
James just goes. Us Stewarts, we're not at the ground.
did he say that?
He did. He straight up said that. Like Ricky was like trying to be like, oh man, I really hope Malcolm's okay, and James just goes, yeah, we were built to hit the ground, and I just go,
Well, I love when he's,
Oh
I love
my
when he's
God.
crashing. He's like, oh, bro.
bro. And then he's just talking about. He's like, dude, you better do something, man. I paid all this money for that. The kids'
paid
bread.
all
I'm
the
like,
way
what the fuck?
He's like, I flew my kids out
I
here.
flew my kids out here for this.
I flew the kids out to see Uncle Malk.
Look, bro, that
Seats.
that heat race though. I mean, we talk about
He
heat race
raced
Mookie.
Mookie.
He showed up to fuck, and then he got fucked.
Yep, that was it. That was it. He was there to party.
Ass on that track.
Oh, dude, I thought maybe ribs or something. Obviously, I mean, after what I just did out in the parking lot, I know he was out of. I know he was
I know
out
how
of.
it feels now.
He was definitely out of air.
Cole,
for sure.
no offense, your build and Mookie's build a little different.
Little
Well, that's what
different.
I'm saying. He got the double whammy though. He took it to the chest and then flipped
Hey,
over
at
and
least
took it to the back.
Let me show you how this build's different. You ready? That's Mookie, and then Cole.
Don't make me go there. Don't make me
We're
go
not
there.
going there. We're not doing this. We're not
If you
doing
know,
this.
you know.
We're not doing this.
All right, anyway.
Yeah,
Don't
and
make
then,
me go
and
there.
we're just saying, look,
I'm-
man.
all I'm saying.
Hey,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Malcolm, you know,
There we
he's
are.
been eating steaks lately, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Mookie needs a steak, dude. And I
Yeah.
think Eldon maybe would gift him one after that.
Nah,
ride last
dude,
night.
but
Maybe
hey-
we'll take him to Sexy Steak.
Sexy steak in Detroit.
The guy that came in there 3 weeks ago, I was like, is that fucking Malcolm Stewart right now? I'm like, that can't.
Just
be.
in Detroit randomly.
He was
Yeah.
he was solid at Paris SX though, man.
Yeah.
He was good.
He
So,
looked okay yesterday too.
I mean, and that's
He
the
looked
thing.
super good.
Dude, for a 10th after hitting the ground like that, it's pretty good.
Can I just say, like, when he hit that ground there, the only thought that went through my mind was, man, I bet he's sad he didn't follow Craig over to Star. Like, fuck this. Fuck
Yeah.
this.
I
Husky.
got on the
All I
phone.
could think about was like those dudes coming from the other lane hitting that quad.
Bro, how about, well, we'll get to it. in
He
the
probably
250
just
class.
went back to the rig after news are okay. Be like, Christian, is there gonna be an opening at Star anytime soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I gotta get
Can I
off this
ride your
bike.
bike till you're better?
Yeah, you good?
Okay, so next two here, we'll just talk about them both in parallel here. We've got the Lawrence brothers, Hunter 11th and Jet 12.
Somehow they find each other. They
Look.
always find each other.
So I
Hunter was
jumped the
geeky.
gun in qualifying and said, oh, they got the bike figured out. And then I watched the main and went, I don't think that bike's figured out. And part of it is a Jet thing, but you look at Hunter. Hunter also did nothing in that main.
Hunter
And
struggled on.
Forget about
He
the
did
position.
nothing but hit the ground. He
Hunter's-
became a statistic.
Hunter is not Hunter is not an 11th place dude.
Hunter struggled on. He hit the ground on press day. Hit the ground twice in free practice.
Uh-huh.
Was nowhere to be found during time qualifying.
They don't have that bike
he
figured
did,
out.
He was okay in the heat race, but then
And there's nothing better than racing to figure it out.
Here's my question. I watched the race twice. When I'm watching the race, they didn't finish well, but they didn't like. Well, normally, we got trained eye. Normally, when you watch them, you're like, "Oh, the fucking shock is too fast."
Did you just say we got the trained eye and point at him like you
Justin
two?
does too, but you know.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
out.
fans of the show
I'm
asked
out.
Justin about
I'm
technique.
out. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Well,
go.
here's the thing.
over here and fuck
Hey,
myself.
grab me a
doesn't
water
look
while
good?
you're over
I'm
there.
gonna go fuck myself. over
What
here.
doesn't look good on the bike?
You going to
Just
salt the
because
driveway?
The place they finished.
Next to your car.
Yeah.
See if you can.
Just
Are you
the
gonna
place they
piss
finished?
next to my
no,
truck again?
I don't. I'm not jumping. Like the bike is an issue just from what they've said, and their biggest issue is just how stiff the chassis is, and this is mostly coming from Jet because just the way Jet rides is he likes the plush bike, which when he first moved to the 450 class, I had my thoughts on that. That's never going to work on Supercross, but dude's so talented.
made
But
it
like
work.
Hunter, I don't think Hunter's issue is the bike. I think that Hunter has just got a lot of shit that has always been his issue physically.
Yes. I hear
Physically, I'm not going on the bike. Physically, and this has been Hunter, and it's he's got type 2 diabetes. He's got all this shit. He's dealt with it in the past during outdoors. I think Hunter is always going to have issues with his body that are just never going to go away. I thought Hunter rode fine last night. He dropped off at the end of the main,
Yeah, but the crashes are uncharacteristic.
but the crashes are uncharacteristic, and that's
in
why
the whoops
and that-
from
yeah.
the rear end.
And that makes me believe too
Was it walking?
that his biggest thing also too with Hunter, and we'll get to Jet, is Hunter has other stuff going on because I'll be honest with you, ever since Paris press day, Hunter has looked like ass to me. And I know that he did well
Yeah, I didn't think he looked that good.
physically. He just
Oh.
didn't look right.
Looking kind of ghosty.
Yeah, just kind of like just there.
So I hear this about the bike. They got to do this, that, the other bike. it looks like a pretty good bike to me. What do you guys think? What seemed off?
Well, that ignition is a problem.
Well, the ignition seems to be a problem. Thank you, sir. Wow.
What was the trouble with the ignition?
They
They went to a
went to ECU. They went to GET on their
switched to
ECUs.
instead
That's
of
not new.
No, they
No,
never
yeah,
used
it
to
is.
use
they
GET.
were using
On the 450s.
factory
They were using,
ECUs.
they were using factory Honda ECUs, and then they just moved to GET this year. And apparently they're trying new fuel. I don't know much about what fuel they
Yeah, I
changed
don't know
to.
what the deal is with the fuel.
I don't know the octane. I don't know what the oxygenation levels and shit. But like, that was something that they were trying to figure out in the off season.
So what the ECU, the GET system's traction control is different, and that's what you
Yes.
guys
The whole get
I mean,
system's
yeah, I
different.
don't even know who's tuning them. They got a little Japanese guy in Japan directly tuning them
He's
again.
still there working on it, from what I understand.
Because
He is
before,
working
like
on
the
Gets.
ECU's coming straight out of Japan.
Yeah.
The first GET system we did at KTM was our guy Dan
Truman?
Truman.
Yeah, he's still
He
doing
was
it.
there,
He
and
still
did
does it.
with us.
Dan's still the
He was
guy.
really good, but here's the thing: 10 years ago it was unbelievable. What do you guys think is the weak spot of this?
Well, not.
it ain't the ECU coming out of Japan with the same guys
Well,
that are
we
tuning the
talk-
Formula One cars.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
say,
talked about this. Like,
I just think it's power delivery and timing.
we
is
think
what's
that they
fucked up with
basically, because we talked about this in one of the shows. I don't know what show it was, talking about like with the Formula One guys, but basically how they have the rev meter and then where Jet and Hunter position themselves on the body with the grates, where the RPMs are at from the grate to the when they hit the gate, and then when they drop into the dirt, and where the traction, where the RPMs start coming up.
Interesting.
And I think that that's basically what they suffered last night is they just don't have the R&D with the GET system
Yeah,
yet.
like basically the way I look at it before is like Mark Marquez, right? Who's the guy that's tuning that bike and tuning that ECU, and where's that information coming from? That's coming direct from Japan. Okay. Dan Truman ain't touching Mark Marquez's ECU.
And Dan
Like,
Truman is a very smart guy, so anybody on the show that if you know
I'm not
Dan,
shitting on him at all. Like if he figures it out, then hell yeah, let's figure it out. All the credit in the world to him. But I think they're at a disadvantage.
I want to put you guys up on some game here. So the advantage of the GET system and having GPS, the next level of this, I'm not sure what they're doing with it right now. The next level of this is that by having fine GPS data, you can tune it so when you leave the gate, the GPS tells the engine, this tells the ECU, okay, we're going now to this map.
Yeah.
And when you come up to the whoops, and this is another thing, you see a lot of like high-end automotive. They have magnetic fluid, electromagnetic fluid in the shocks. They can make the suspension stiffer and softer at
Oh
different
yeah,
times
they've
of the
talked
track.
about that. I don't know if that'll.
So you come around the corner before the whoops, and the GPS knows, okay, this is the lane right before the whoops, and it stiffens the forks up before the whoops. This is, in my opinion, the next level of our technology here.
I hope it doesn't come because they're just making this sport dummy proof.
Yeah, I mean, it's making it too easy for these
Like
guys.
if they
Like,
make a bike like that, I can go out and ride super.
they're making it too easy for these guys. It's taken away from everything, and like I'll fight
I mean,
anybody on
yeah,
that.
they don't even have to switch the map. Like they shift to third. And
Like we have
just
traction
does it
control,
for
and I
you.
know we've had traction control for a little bit now, not a long time, but we've had traction control.
Stewart was fucking with it back
But
in
it's like,
09.
dude,
Mid 2000s.
Like what? Like okay, so we're just taking away the technique thing at all? Yeah, and it didn't really work for Stu half the time. But my point is we're not racing cars, and
RC in 04 was the first I'd heard of traction control being really in the racing use.
as the great
I'm
Chad
sure,
Watts
yeah.
would say, we need less fucking electronics on these bikes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
until right now with 350, and normally I'm a 125 rider, so like I want it to be a tractor. I want it to be as analog as could be, and I agree with you guys. However, we're talking about the advantage and the disadvantage of going from factory to the GET system, and this is the next level of the advantage. And I'm real interested to see how it pans out.
Yeah.
And I've got a little. I don't know if I really want to say it on the air, but I've got when the electric bikes things come into play, I've got a concept for the electric bikes that will be big money. So it's interesting to see how it grows. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Anybody want this panic button for Jet?
It's not a panic button, but
Okay, look,
it's bad.
Hey, I got two things to fix this.
Hunter Lawrence has to be ecstatic.
You know what these boys need to fix? Obviously, the suspension's an issue, right?
Yeah.
I guess I got three things I could say. Everybody's like,
Is it?
"Oh, the bike was great outdoors," blah blah blah, and why should Honda be concerned if they don't go back to the old frame? I say put the old frame McGrath style under that thing. Nobody's gonna know.
No.
You can put the same plastic
Yeah,
on it, but
somebody
then
will know.
everybody's like,
You want to know who will know? Michael Lindsay.
okay.
Yeah, of
Track
course. Of
that
all
shit
people,
down.
Michael will know.
So yeah, I guess where I'm going with this is go back to the old chassis, McGrath style, and then but the fight to that's like, oh well, Honda wants people to buy the bike that they're riding. The bike that they're riding is good outdoors. What do we ride? We ride outdoors.
bike that
The
they're riding,
consumer
I
is
can't
never
buy.
going to touch a fucking supercross track. So run the old chassis.
I'll say it again. I can't buy a Formula One car. Do you think Mercedes
Sort of.
sales are hurting?
Sort of.
Everybody drives a car.
Oh Lord, here we go back to that.
But let's talk about Jet though.
Okay.
Hang on.
Oh boy.
Throw some KYB on that shit, Kennard style. See how that goes.
So
Kennard is their test guy, so
Do you guys really think the
Well,
bike
Kennard's
looked
got a
that
broken
bad?
arm.
The chassis
What?
and the suspension, you guys really think it looked bad?
I got to rewatch the race. I didn't get to do that today. I didn't think
That's
it.
a whole nother rabbit hole.
I didn't think it looked.
What?
I didn't think it looked that bad in qualifying there. I really was like, because that was. If you go back and watch my video that I put out of 3 things I'm watching, one of the things was the Honda 450 here with Jet and Hunter, which was to see how it looked because we all knew they're very open that, hey, we've been having issues. So, okay, cool. If I watch that and that bike looks like shit and Jet's outside like the top 3 in qualifying, this is an issue. Then he's running around battling Tomac for 10ths in qualifying. And I'm like, okay, never mind. They
but it was sketchy
fucking
though.
fixed it.
It was sketchy though.
Yeah.
That last lap, dude, he got loose as fuck.
Well,
They're
you know
not
what?
trusting
I didn't
the
see
rear end.
Tomac's lap, so I couldn't tell you if
Yeah,
it was
I know,
much
right?
different
That's
than
another-
fucking what Tomac was doing.
I guess a little rabbit hole, I guess, that I just thought of, might have to do some digging into it, but I saw a photo of Trey Kennard with his cast on
Yeah.
his arm. So, 1, the 2025 threw him on the ground.
Yeah.
2, they don't have an extra resource to test new stuff.
Well, the weird
So
thing
that's going to
about
put him behind a
weird
little
thing
bit.
about Trey too is obviously he tests all the bike because he's like that's his thing now. But he actually rides the 250F exclusively now. He doesn't really even ride the 450 too much anymore.
Really? That's
Yeah, and I don't know if that was to dial in for Joe and Chance.
Well, that worked for Joe.
But, yeah, and we'll find out with Chance. But what I'll say with Hunter, I think is more a physical thing, and I think Jet is a more him thing.
Look, dude, Hunter made it into the main this year.
Yeah, I know,
So we're 100% better as
So-
far as
I
I'm
don't know.
concerned.
I don't have the panic button out, but to go back to your question, but
But he has to rebound next.
he's
year.
15
he has no
15
choice but to rebound
15 or
next
18
weekend.
points or whatever it is
Yeah.
is a lot of points after the first round.
If
He has
he's
no
if
choice
he's
but to
not
rebound.
on the podium next week, then we start getting into this is a problem.
Well, dude, and if the bike thing is an issue, man, like I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah.
Unless he's just literally just going to shut his brain off like all moto and he's going to take a chance of ragdolling himself into the ground every lap.
Now, with that being said, though, okay, we always talk about this. There is no testing like racing.
No, there's not.
So,
True.
yes, they've been testing. Then you get to the races, and everybody does this every year. Everybody who doesn't do what they think they should do, they're like, oh, fuck, we got to go back to the drawing board and, like, figure stuff out. So, maybe they figured something out yesterday that they can go in this
I don't know. It
week.
didn't look like it. And the problem, too, is that what do we always hear every year, too? Let's get the hell out of California.
Yeah, I mean, the real shocking thing to me is that Jet...
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. The real shocking thing to me is that Jet literally went nowhere. Like, he started making a run.
Not
then
even really
hit
in the heat
deck.
race. Not even really in the heat race.
Yeah, the heat race wasn't great either, but he, like, started making a run after that first turn thing, and then hit the deck after the whoops, and then I'm watching, I'm like, he's not going anywhere. He's
what was
running around in 20 seconds.
Lap 4 or 5, he was, and somebody's gonna be like, "That's not what it was," but I'm just like guessing. But I think
Yeah.
he was like 19 down of Chase.
Yeah.
he ended the main 7 seconds down of Chase.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and that was
was
after
a
the
lot.
and that was after the crash.
Yeah, because he didn't do anything. I'm
No.
telling you, he didn't do anything. Because I watched, I'm just like, what is happening?
My just biggest thing is, and like you're right, Jet could go in, win in San Diego this coming weekend. Chase could get 8th. My biggest thing is because if he's never been in a hole after the first round in all of his title years.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem to me, the reason why it is such a big deal, is because all the guys that can beat him
Yeah.
actually all beat him last night. Like usually every now and then when he has a bad race, one of the guys or two of the guys that can beat him actually just beat him. Usually also have issues that night. All the guys that can actually beat Jet straight up all beat him, and they all beat him by a lot. So it's not like, oh, like if Chase would have won and Eli would have got 10th, okay? Or Kenny would have got 13th, or, Coop would have got 12th or whatever. It'd be like, okay, one guy is
Yeah.
a fuck ton of points ahead of me.
Yep.
And then the rest of them we're not that far apart.
This is
All
just,
of them all have double digits on him now.
Yeah.
This is just another feather in the cap that Jet Lawrence is chasing. Like, we haven't seen him have this shitty of a round and then rebound.
Well, we're
If
gonna
he can rebound, that's another feather.
Yep.
We're going to see right real quick. The one thing we always talk about Jet is what is it like when Jet has to go in panic mode straight up all the time? And we're going to find out.
Yeah,
because we
this-
all talk about like him at 90%. And I've said this, like him going over 90% is bad. Like him at 90%, one of the best dudes, if not the best dude in the world. When he goes over 90,
Yeah.
that's when he makes a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
We're going to see what he does now when he's backed into a corner.
Yeah.
And he has to go full tilt.
I think this could be good. We talk about moving the goalpost. This goalpost is definitely
reason to get up in the morning.
This is a reason to get up in the morning. You're in a hole.
But it
Yep.
does scare me a
Fire
little
is
bit,
that.
though, with him. Because we all know the whole, and I made the joke when Eric was on, he gets super pissed or whatever, and he gets all serious and all this kind of shit, which every interview I saw with him, he looked unhappy. But, like, we just still have yet to see him in a headspace where,
Don't slip and fall.
yeah, don't slip and fall, old man. Yet to see him in a headspace where he's just pissed and he wants to try to go demoralize everyone. Don't slip and fall.
Don't slip and fall.
Oh, I'm going to piss right next to my truck.
Oh.
That way it kind of
Slip and slide.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good thought.
So,
Good
yeah.
thought. And-
put any fucking salt.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no. That's my biggest thing is I'm. You know what? Maybe he can do it. It's not like it's never been done. We talked about Jeremy. We talked about Stu and RV. Those guys did it. Only 3 guys have ever done it, but those guys did it. But it's just Jet's never been in this situation before where he's been this far back after round 1. He always comes out, usually fucking wins round 1. So where's his headspace going to be? Because he does. I don't know about you being the Jet guy, but every interview I saw from him, he does not look happy.
See, and I thought he was way better this weekend. Like, in the offseason, yeah. When they
That's
did
what I'm
that
talking
media
about.
day, yeah. But then this weekend, I thought it was much better. And he talked about, like, Hunter getting in his ear and being like, hey, bro, like, quit fucking worrying about these people. Who cares? We're getting paid to ride dirt bikes. Like, it doesn't matter.
I don't even know if I'm even the part of the fans. I'm talking about him. What we talk about with Jet is now all the shit with the racing side of him.
Yeah.
That part. I don't care about the whole, the Hayden Deegan drama, all that. I'm talking about just the racing aspect of like, oh my God, like this is not even fun anymore.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be okay. Like I said, this to me is awesome because it gives him a reason.
If he
to get
doesn't
up
win in
the
San
morning.
Diego,
He's got to be on the podium.
If he
he's
doesn't-
not,
if he
he's not
doesn't-
on the podium,
and if Chase wins,
then it's turning it. Well, yeah, that's a whole like. There's a couple variables to this. Number one, if he's not on the podium, that's a problem. Number two, if Chase wins and he's not on the podium, that's an even bigger problem. Now, if you have a complete switch up, and let's say Chase and Kenny and Ando are 6th, 7th, 8th or whatever, and Jet's right there in the mix somewhere, say maybe like 5th or something, and whatever Eli, Coop, Barsha, podium. Okay, then again, I don't even know right here looking at what the points would shake out like, but then maybe okay. But it still isn't a good. It's still no matter what. It's a problem if he doesn't podium next round.
I honestly think that he's got to win and he's got to distance himself from Chase and Eli and Coop.
Yeah.
So may I? We in this show typically talk about fantasy supercross, and now allegedly, now that sports gambling is legal, we're allegedly not allowed to talk about that. But let me ask you this: next weekend, do you have your actual money on Jet winning?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've
I
seen
don't.
it before, so
Yeah, but I haven't seen him
Cold
look
World,
that
you
bad
got
in a long
50
time.
bucks on Jet winning, or are you not putting money on Jet?
I wouldn't put money on Jet
Oh,
winning.
I put a bunch of money on Jet last night and lost. So
I wouldn't put money on Jet. I wouldn't. I put
you
my
put money on Jet last night.
What was the
Spread.
I was doing like 5s and 10s.
My money would be on Eli.
yeah?
I wouldn't be putting money on Jet to win. Honestly, hot take. I don't think Jet wins until we go Glendale.
That is a hot take.
That's round 5.
4. It's before we go to the East Coast swing, and it's Triple Crown.
Detroit's first East Coast.
No,
East
Tampa.
Coast? Oh, yeah.
And actually, the crazy thing is Glendale. He's not even really that good at Glendale.
Yeah.
Well, not that good.
Yeah. It's
Not
not
good.
good.
Not
It's
second or
not
third.
good.
Yeah,
It's not good as a
yeah.
guy who won 9 races in his rookie season and 450 Supercross can be.
Well,
So
7.
Travis, you want to go out to Phoenix and see our friend Paul?
I don't know. Yes, no.
All right, who's next?
All of the above. Shane got 13th.
Quad Lock Honda.
Dude, Shane sinned.
Quad Lock Honda.
Quad Lock's big now.
Well, it's big, but Quad Lock Honda.
Dude, yeah, when I saw the semi rolling in, I was like, damn, your Reeves got a semi in the States? Damn, quad lock on the whole
I was
side.
like, damn. I was like, man, Joey's in a rig and he's not in the back 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor Joey.
Are the two on that team?
Yeah, well, and then when they go east, Carson Mumford's the 250
Hey,
guy.
that's solid for Shane, though.
Yeah, no, that's a good ride
Man,
for
that
Shane.
guy,
Put Shane on a 250.
yeah, no shit. He was like McGrath all
Can't
off season.
point it out.
Yeah, I know. That was me
McGrath,
being
96
That was
in
me being
Australia.
super pissed off at these dumb rules.
All right,
Right?
let's
Shane on a 250, instant title threat.
I mean, pretty good on the 450 there.
Joey, too.
That's not nothing
Yeah.
to. Nothing to shake a stick at.
No, I'm not shaking a stick, but put Johnny Sin.
He just won on a 250 in the overseas.
WSX.
Oh, he's like McGrath all off season.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't look like McGrath, but
All right, so our last kind of heavy hitter that we'll touch a lot on here, Jorge Prado, 14th.
I shit on him a lot.
Great
In the
start.
pre-show.
Great start.
Rode good. I think things
Love
after
Jorge.
like 5 laps just started happening real fast for him up there.
my only big issue with Jorge, and it's not surprising, as Eric alluded to quite a few times, only his 5th Supercross, and I think this comes down to what happened. I also think he pumped up, but like in the whoops with his whoop crash, and I noticed it a lot during the preseason videos because we all saw him. Jorge has a huge fucking issue when he gets locked into a main line, not venturing out and trying different lines, even with that main line. And I think we all know it's hard to do that in preseason. You're out there, even if you're riding with somebody, your brain can't go to that, like, oh, if I make a mistake, this actually matters. So you start rushing yourself.
Yeah.
All the videos I saw him, literally the same line, like inch, same line, lap after, which is great if you can do that consistently. But when the tracks break down like they do, especially on the West Coast, like, same thing.
Yeah.
All I saw last night, same line. He even kept going to the inside. He kept cutting down early in that right-hander before, setting up for the inside. It's like, oh, hey, man, you cross-rutted and got loose because you didn't start switching up your lines. That'd be my only critique of Jorge. Other than that, killed it. Showed he had the speed early in the race. Maybe pumped up later on. It is only his 5th Supercross, and he'd never been that high of a level that long on Supercross. He's going to be fine, and damn, he's going to be good, and I think he's going to get podiums.
Hope like hell he stays healthy.
I think he will.
I think that was a win for him last night because he left
race
there.
was great.
I was going to say, good heat race, good
Maine was
start.
good. Maine was good too.
Ran up front, saw what that pace was like. Finished 14th, okay, not great. Hit the ground a couple times.
But he was like,
walked
what,
out of there.
8th? He was like 8th when he crashed, though?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's stoked on it if you ask
So
him to.
I assume,
I hope so.
maybe he goes back another spot and gets 9th if he doesn't hit the deck.
I still think he's top 10, yeah. Which, again, I think is a
which
total
is right
win.
where we put him.
And I think he podiums at the end of the year, man.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, real hot
18
take
rounds,
here.
17 rounds?
Real
17,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hot take.
Well, first, I'm going to praise him. I'm going to be a Sour Patch Kid. I'm going to be real sour, and then I'm going to be sweet.
Okay. There
I
we
was
go.
like, where are you going with that?
So,
Jesus.
I saw a lot of similarities to Vince Friese.
Oh, my God.
With who?
Jorge Prado.
You talking about the fact that he can ride like he has eyes in the back of his head?
I'll have whatever he's had today.
Is that what you're talking
the
about?
fact that he
He
pulls
hit his
the
head when he
holy,
fell.
start fading a little bit,
Get back,
and then
my
when he
star.
was fading, he's crossed the track, back across the track, playing a lot of good defense. Everything that people criticize Vince for, he was doing the same shit.
You know,
Because Vince Friese is a good fucking rider. He has eyes in the back of his
yeah,
head.
eyes in the back of his head. It's race IQ.
So no different than Vince Friese. You can take that how you want it. You can take that as sour as not.
Vince will
but
be like, fuck yeah.
No different, he says.
no
You
different,
know what it
dude.
reminded me a lot of? 2016 Aston with Jeffrey Hurlings.
But
Jeffrey's probably watching that going, yep, that's Prado.
I wish that guy would come here.
so
He's going to.
all
Maybe.
over the place,
Maybe.
the whole deal, whatever. Riding just like Vince, crossing. No cross jumping maybe, but going real tight to the bales there.
Didn't take out Robbie Wageman.
But on the sweeter side,
No, here we go.
I liked the fight. I liked the fight out of him.
It's a Spanish thing,
he was
man.
acting, the squaring up, cutting back down, countering, getting back in the mix. Like
Just ready for those outdoor battles with him and Jet.
He's really good.
Did that bike look soft to you?
That's how he's going to ride it, though, man.
Okay.
We talk about Jet. He doesn't like the harsh chassis. He wants it plush.
Yeah.
Jorge, you and me have talked about this in the truck before. Him and they ride very similar, especially outdoors, hopping, skipping over stuff, wheel tapping.
They need
And-
Ricky Carmichael or James Stewart to show that fucking guy the ropes
on how to set up a bike.
for whoops.
Oh, I was gonna say setting
No.
up a bike. James
Yeah.
Stewart is not the guy to go to.
Yeah, and
set up a
Jorge's
bike.
yeah. But no, that's the way Jorge's going to ride his bikes. I don't think he's ever going to change that. And I definitely understand what you're like. Yeah, there was some softness to it, especially in the whoops.
Yeah.
But I don't think
That's
he's ever
what I
going
was
to.
really looking
He's brand
for.
new to this. You don't think he's going to evolve with it?
I think he's going to evolve in the testing, but like to Travis to talk about the softness, I just don't think he's ever going to be a guy that's going to ride a stiffer, rigid setup.
No.
That's just not him.
No.
He's too much like Jet, or Jet's
Yeah.
too much like him,
Yeah.
whatever you want to
It's going to
say.
be cool to see him develop into like an actual supercross rider, and then even more so like once it goes to the outdoors. Look the
And another thing I'll say before we move on from him with the Cowie setup, and I even said this to Wyman because obviously he's a Cowie homer and you're a Cowie guy, and I'm not a Fox person,
Not affiliated.
He's
not
got
a- not a
Chevy
Fox
Truck
burn?
Kawasaki shirt on.
but
I just like the brand.
the whole get up with him in the Fox gear on the Cowie with that RC rookie number,
I like it.
fresh.
I don't like
The
pink or
whole-
purple on the gear.
You already
Like-
answered my question for
Like
halftime,
the
but we'll get there.
lit kit,
There it is.
fresh.
There it is.
I've been on the Jorge thing since he showed up here, and he was doing just regular motos
Here
at Fox.
we go with the Euros.
At Fox.
You're right. He's winning Daytona. He's winning Daytona.
He might win Daytona.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom did last year.
All right.
Yeah, he's always going to go back to that. Well, Tom Biel won it.
Tom Biel did win Daytona.
One out of 12 ain't bad.
Tom Biel won Daytona.
All
Can
right.
you fucking fall down again?
All right, let's wrap these 450s up here.
Yeah, we are dragging along. We still got all the meat
we
and
talked
potatoes.
we talked to Eric for an
Potatoes?
hour. So Friese 15th, Mitchell Oldenburg 16th, Mitchell
God damn it.
Harrison.
Hey, you
Cat.
did call that.
Conflicted.
You
I did.
low-key called that.
I did.
Conflicted.
Conflicted with the Kev
17th,
thing.
yeah, 17th. Freddie Noren 18th. Ryan Brees. Thoughts on the Brees Dylan situation?
Well,
Didn't
Dylan-
leave him a lot of room, but
Dylan-
Dylan should know.
Dylan's never going to let that shit happen again.
Yeah.
And Ryan Brees, you're a big boy, but you might not want to get around Dylan next weekend.
I don't know. Brees put her in the main.
Yep.
Yeah, good for Brees, bro. And Brees has been riding right across for the last year and a half now. What do you
Notable
expect?
guys to not make the main.
And his teammates, Vince Friese.
Colt Nichols not making the main.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Nope.
Not
But
a good
that's
look.
not a surprise.
And Dylan
with-
Ferrandis not making the main.
Not a good look.
Chiz 20th.
Last
Yeah.
season. Finally. Last
Straight
season.
out of
Finally.
straight out of the heat. son.
Straight out the heat, baby.
Little fist pump over the finish.
Yep.
I bet Papa Chisholm's a little bummed out. But
Anybody disappointed with Joey Savacci going 21st?
Did he have the syndrome? What happened?
he had issues. I thought
what?
he got stacked up in a crash on the first lap.
He got crashed.
I was about to
There's
say.
no way he just got
no.
22nd.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch, but I thought he got stacked up in a crash on the first lap.
Yeah, I gotta go look for some reviews probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
I'm not saying like, oh, he was going to go out and get on the box or get a top 5, but like I thought he was stacked up.
Figure be in the top 10. You know.
Yeah, and I thought he got
Yeah.
stacked up in the first lap.
He
I don't
definitely
know,
got
maybe.
Shane Sins beat. What he get?
Yeah, no
13th?
shit. Although him and Shane might have some pretty wicked battles this year.
Maybe.
Wicked.
And then Benny, DNF. Do you want to make a comment on that?
That
right, can we go to 250 class?
Definitely on my bingo card.
Can we go to 250 class?
Not
No,
yet.
it's halftime.
Benny doesn't like me. So.
Halftime, son.
All
I
right,
got a
that's
rant.
been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Works. I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this kind of content and you want to see the full show, it's linked right here. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss an update, you never miss a show, a live stream, a bike build, or anything that we're doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button there and make sure to turn on notifications with the bell. If you want to join our members area to help support the show, that's greatly appreciated too. And you can check us recording things live that other people in the general public don't get to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.